Good morning. Well, I am excited today. My name is Crystal Meldrum with OrganizeYourJoy.com, and this is my friend that I'm going to be helping her organize her pantry. So it's going to be amazing. We are going to take everything out of the pantry, and then we got these amazing containers from Target. They are darling, and IKEA. Great places to go to get cute containers. Why did you choose white?
Well, it's very peaceful. I like white, and pantries are so full and so busy of so much color anyway. And I did it in my master closet, and I loved how that turned out. It made my closet feel so much more peaceful. So that's why.
So we are going to, this is her pantry, and she actually has organized it like a few months ago, and she had these cute round containers, but the system really didn't work that well. And I talk about on my website, you need to want to always have square containers instead of circular, because the family will respect the space. You're using up every inch of the area. And even though she had these darling labels, they wouldn't always put things away to show the label. So these containers were from the dollar store. The good thing is they were only $1, but the bad thing is it didn't really stay organized, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't address every problem in the pantry, and so the kids just put things at the easiest place, the first place. So I think we're going to attack the whole pantry and make sure it runs smoothly in a way that supports our family's use of the pantry, so that it's easier to put it away than just to put it wherever there's an open spot.
That's right. And we do want to have the goal of creating some empty space. I know you were saying maybe not have any empty, but when you're organizing, you always want to try to have 20% empty space so there's room for growth. Because if you fill every spot, then if you buy something new and there's no spot for it, then you're creating a disaster again. So we want to try to create 20% emptiness, even if it's the top shelf. So let's get to it.
I am so excited to teach you the 8 steps of the I Can Do It organizing system. Step 1 is imagine. Imagine for 90 seconds what would be the ideal memories that you want to create in that space. If you're thinking about a pantry, your pantry is really the supportive arm of your kitchen. So what are those memories that you want to create in your kitchen? You need to imagine. You could look at pictures on Pinterest. You could write for 90 seconds. You really don't want to skip this step, because this is what's going to help you figure out your true purpose of your organizing room. Then the second step is create motivation. In my book, the Organize Your Joy Workbook, the Mom's Complete Organizing Guide, I have over 25 ways to help you create motivation. You know, moms have a laundry list of things to do, and they want to get organized, but a lot of times they put it on the back burner to put out all the other fires. So maybe you need to figure out some ways to motivate yourself to finish, like getting a babysitter so you can work for 2 hours organizing that pantry, or invite a friend to help you. You know, figure out what could be your motivation, what would help you. Maybe put dinner in the crock pot so you can work through the dinner hour and get something organized. So think about that. And then the next step is assess. This is where you assess the piles, the personalities of your family, and the purpose of your space. The piles, you'll just look around your pantry and look, okay, why are there piles? You write down on a little piece of paper on the left-hand side what piles you see. Don't touch the piles, just write down the piles. And then on the right-hand side of the paper, you write down why the piles exist. Is it that there's no home for those items? Is it there's no good habits? Then you assess the personalities of your family. Am I dealing with people that can read, and if I label the shelves, they can put things away properly? Or do I need to draw some pictures so that people can put things away? Really figure out, what are the personalities of my family? Will they put things away, or do we have no good habits, no good training yet? And then the next thing you want to do is think about, what is the true purpose of your space? Kind of like we did in step 1, imagining the real purpose of your space. So then the next step is note down regions. And this is where in the movie you'll see we got Post-it notes and we wrote down different regions. A region is where you put like items with like items, such as canned food. All the cans are all grouped together on 2 shelves. And so we wrote on a Post-it note, canned food, and then we just popped it up so that, and then if we wanted to move it, we could just move the Post-it note as we were trying to decide, so on the right-hand side of this pantry, we did all the non-food items, the dry goods, the cleaning supplies, and on the left-hand side, we did all the food, perishables, potatoes, canned food, food storage. So we're kind of separating it into regions so that it makes sense. And you want to put things that you use the most often in what's called prime real estate. That would be from your shoulder to your knee. Then your items that you use less often, like twice a month, from your knee to your foot. And the things that you use only once a month, from your shoulder to the ceiling. And then things like we took the turkey roaster completely out of the pantry. That goes in the garage or her long-term storage because she only uses it about 4 times a year. And it's huge. It's taking up too much prime real estate in her pantry. So that's the 4 thinking steps. Now let's move on to the 4 action steps. The 4 action steps are determine containers, is step 5. And what you want to do is get square containers over circular containers because square uses every inch of the space and the family knows where the front is. The front has the label. You want to have containers that only come up 70% of the space and throw away all the lids so people can put things away. Just chuck it, toss it, and things are put away. And then you want the containers to come to the front edge of the shelf because then people will put things inside the containers instead of in front of the container. And then the next step is step 6, finally, is organize. So you need to get 5 containers to organize into because the secret to organizing is to stay in the space you're organizing, not get distracted and go to another room, start another project. So by having your speed sorting boxes, this will help you stay in the space you're organizing. So you need a trash, an other room box, an action box, a donate box, and a storage box. And so you sort into these containers. Then the next step, step 7, is inscribe. This is where you label all the containers, and we even labeled the shelves in this lady's pantry so that everybody knows where the container goes. If the container comes out into the kitchen, the container can go right back on its shelf, and the container's labeled. Her family can read, so we didn't have to draw pictures. So we just used artist white tape. It's white painter's tape, and it's fantastic. That's step number 7 is inscribe, and you need to label everything. This friend of mine that I'm organizing, I taught her these organizing principles many years ago, and she would do all the steps, but she wouldn't label. And she's finally crossed this epiphany in her mind, and she has realized labeling makes all the difference because it maintains the work that you have done. And then the last step is train to maintain. So have a little family meeting in the pantry and tell everybody, hey, this is the new system. This is where the canned food goes. Everybody put the corn here, put the beans here, put the peas here. And then the family knows what the new system is, and they can create fun memories in the kitchen, make cookies when they want to make cookies, and find the ingredients they need.
Okay, well, we have finished. We labeled, I think we made about 100 labels.
Yes.
And we did everything, we labeled everything twice. So we labeled the shelf and the
Container.
bin.
Yeah.
And why do you think we did that?
So the kids, when the container, if it ever were to get moved or put in a new spot, they could self-regulate. They could actually be like, wait a second, I'm seeing popcorn, and here is, protein drinks. And maybe they will fix it, or I can fix it, or a husband has a higher chance. Chance.
That's
the key
true.
word.
That's true. So this looks amazing. I love these containers that you
These
got.
are from IKEA. I'm sorry, these are from Target.
Target, and she bought these little clips that clip on, and we just popped those on. That was amazing. And then she got these containers. We actually still did use 2 or 3 of these circular containers, but we got rid of most of them. These are from the dollar store. And we used the tape that we used to make the labels. It was amazing.
This was really cool because instead of having to take all the time to make really gorgeous labels, which is going to be worth it and in my future, but this was like get it done immediately because in the past I've organized and not labeled and nothing stayed done because I'm the only one who knows the word, who knows where things are supposed to go. And so with this, everything has a home. And so anyone can help me put it away.
Yes, don't use masking tape. This is called artist tape. It's like painter's tape, but it's white and it doesn't leave a sticky residue. It's restickable. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's $10, but would you say it's worth it?
Yeah, and that could be used your whole life. 1 roll per life, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, we could have used my labeling machine, but we would still be working on this project.
Yeah.
And
Speed.
you gotta have speed, especially we were working with a lot of children, 7 or 8 children. Yeah. And so this really helped a ton. Okay, and I wanted to show a few of your other containers. This container, where did you get this one?
This one is from IKEA.
And it was $4.
$4.50.
And we really liked it. Why did you like it?
Well, it's super sturdy and it has handles. And then it doesn't, unlike some of the Walmart containers that have a lip, this has the same storage capacity, but it doesn't take up as much space.
Yeah,
So
I really love that. It was awesome. Okay, and any last things we want to tell them?
You're an angel. This was awesome. I wouldn't have done this. And it definitely gets me excited. I've noticed whenever you start organizing one thing, it helps move you forward into wanting to do more spaces and creating more order. And I want more time. I want more time to do less work, actually. So even though this was really hard, I know this is going to buy me a lot of time, especially because this is such a highly used space. And I'm glad we did the pantry.
I wanted to say one last thing. She is an amazing cook. And so you were saying how when you're a great cook, sometimes you get a lot of fun tools.
Yeah, so for me, I have tons. This is a giant pantry, and it's like a dream for me because I do cook. I own tons of devices, but I actually use all of them. Not like on the daily basis, but so when you have something in your life where you have a lot of it, if you're really using it, it's worth it to create a home for it. Now, if you just have a lot of everything and it's just building up piles and stressing you out, then it's not worth it. And that's when you decide to pass it along. But for me, this is like, I don't have a craft room actually, and I probably never will, but I'll always have a place for my decorations and a place for my food gadgets.
Yeah, because she's really into interior design, gardening, and food, and fashion. So she has places.
Got a great closet.
She has places for all of those fun activities in her life, and she really does it, and she shares it. So I say, if you really use it, you can have it. But let's label it. Let's make it so it can.
It fills your bucket rather than drains you. It's worth it.
She even created a shelf for children's cooking or children's baking shelf so that they have all the ingredients they need to make cookies, and so it's really a fun.
Yeah, because I have different dietary needs, and so I do cook the way I eat, they all eat, but when they want to make cookies, they don't make cookies with alternative flours, and so I wanted them to have access to their stuff so they can just make it. And once again, self-govern, like just do it.
Yes, and one thing that helped us, because we were a little overwhelmed at first, we made little Post-it notes for the regions. So when it was like the food storage shelf, we put a Post-it note, because at first Autumn was like, where do I put all these different things?
Yeah, it was stressful.
So I am excited. I hope you will organize your pantry. And this is Crystal Meldrum with Organize Your Joy and my dear friend. Thank you for watching.